Well, hey, hey there, guys. Welcome to a brand new video right here on the Zeke Said So YouTube channel. I'm gonna give you guys my reaction to the Oscar wins. The Oscars were held tonight. They live streamed on Hulu, but you could also watch them on ABC. Um, so yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about that. I sat down and watched the Oscars like I do every year. And of course, if you were following me on Instagram, by the way, if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram at Zeke Said So Pictures. But if you guys have been following me on Instagram, you guys saw my Instagram story. I was basically sharing the results of the Oscars basically throughout the night. So if you want to go see the results for all of the winners, if you guys want to see all the winners, you guys can go check my Instagram and see all the winners. Because I'm not going to delve into all the winners for this. I'm just going to talk about the major categories, and then and then and again, if you want to know the other winners, then you guys can go ahead and you know go look at my Instagram for any more information. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to some of these winners here. So let me bring up. I would like to bring them up here online. Let's see if okay, see if anybody's actually updated their sites at all. Um, see if anybody's okay. So yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and start with the big one. Let's start with Best Picture. Uh, Best Picture, and you know what? I will share my screen here. That way, you guys can actually see what I'm looking at here. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. That way we can all look at this together. And apparently there's James Corden and Ariana Grande singing in a car. She didn't win, by the way. She lost. She lost, by the way. No, so Best Picture. Best Picture went to Anora. Anora is the 2025 Best Picture winner. The films that beat out are The Brutalist, a Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. I will say this. I am very happy to see that Anora won. Anora was, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was my number 3 favorite film of the year. Just checking my letterbox. Just checking my letterbox here. Yes, it was my number 3 film of last year. It was my third favorite film of last year. So obviously, Anora winning, I'm very very happy with. Um, I did say that I did say that if Amelia Perez won Best Picture, I would have lost my mind because I don't think Amelia Perez. And this is coming from someone who thought Amelia Perez was actually a decent movie. I don't think it deserved the Best Picture nomination, let alone to win Best Picture. So thank goodness it didn't. Thank goodness for me it didn't win Best Picture. Um, but Anora did, and I'm happy to see that Anora did. I would have also been okay with The Brutalist. Would have been okay with The Brutalist also, because I thought The Brutalist was also very well done. My only problem with The Brutalist for me was that it just was way too long. Um, that's probably my only problem with the movie. But other than that, I thought for me, I'm overall very happy with Anora winning Best Picture. Best Actress. This was the biggest shock of the night. This one was the biggest shock of the night for me. Best Lead Actress. Mikey Madison for Anora. She beat out Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, Demi Moore for The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. I'll be honest, I thought this was going to Demi Moore. I legitimately thought that we were going to see. I, I, I thought this was Demi Moore's year. Because Demi Moore had won the SAG. She had basically taken over um the award season this year. So I was like, oh well, this is gonna be her year. I mean, there's no question. I guess I was wrong. I guess I was wrong on that because all of a sudden she just all of a sudden they called Mikey Madison's name, and on number one, I was happy for her because again, I love that movie and I thought she gave a great performance in it. But at the same time, a part of me was like, I'm glad like I'll be honest, I'm glad I had no money bet on that because if I had any money bet on it, I probably would have lost money. Because I would have bet that Demi Moore would have won tonight for The Substance, but no, I'm actually look, like I said, I'm very happy to see Mikey Madison win for Honora. She absolutely deserves it. She was great in that movie. Um, it just came as a complete shock because I didn't see it coming. Like to quote Quicksilver from Avengers: Age of Ultron, "Well, you did not see that coming?" Yeah, no, I didn't see it coming, Quicksilver. I'm sorry. Best actor. This one I actually kind of saw it going both ways. I kind of predicted that this was going to go either way. This one went to Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, and I'm pretty sure I spelled Adrian Brody's name wrong on my Instagram. Oops. Um, so Adrian Brody won for The Brutalist. He beat out Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ray Fiennes for The Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. I honestly thought it was between him and Timothy Chalamet. Because Timothy Chalamet won the SAG award, I thought Timothy Chalamet might have had the closest shot to it. Um, but um, I kind of figured that this was kind of going to be the way that this would go. Like I said, it was going to go one or two. It was gonna for me. This was kind of one of those ones where I was kind of safe to. This was a safe bet, Like if I had to actually put money on it, I would have put money on Adrian Brody winning for The Brutalist. Um, so it would have been a safe bet for me to have gone that route. So, but yeah, I also wouldn't have been shocked though if Timothy Chalamet would have won. I'll say this: I would have been shocked if the other three had won. If Coleman Domingo, Ray Fiennes, or Sebastian Stan had pulled it off, then I would have been shocked. But if Chalamet had beaten Adrian Brody, no, I wouldn't have been surprised at all. Um, all right, so that was best actor, best supporting actor. Again, no shock at all. In fact, I am so happy this happened. Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. Again, so happy. A Real Pain was my favorite film of the year. Unfortunately, did not get nominated for Best Picture. I would have nominated for Best Picture. In fact, I think it deserved to be this year's Best Picture, but I'm not a member of the Academy, so I can't, say that. I can't, determine that. But what I will say is that I'm so happy to see Kieran Culkin win for A Real Pain because I thought he out of all the supporting actors, he gave by far for me the best performance out of all the supporting actors in this category. And not to take anything away from these other actors. Yura Borisov from Menorah was great. Edward Norton was fantastic. Guy Pearce was very great. Jeremy Strong was great, but Kieran Culkin just absolutely stole the movie from everybody in A Real Pain, even from Jesse Eisenberg, who Jesse Eisenberg was really good in the movie, but Kieran Culkin just stole the show. Like you can almost make the argument that that movie is really his movie, you know, like you could there's a firm argument that could be made that A Real Pain is not Jesse Eisenberg's character. It's not really Jesse Eisenberg's movie. it's Kieran Culkin's movie, you know, just based on his performance and the where the movie ends and how the movie starts and how the movie ends. Um, so yeah, but yeah, very happy to see that. Best supporting actress, Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez. This was one that was okay. Sorry guys, I think we're good to go. I think I think we're good to go. Hopefully. I think we're good to go. We had audio. I knocked something over and and all of a sudden the mic started freaking out. So it was either the mic or the headset started freaking out. So I my apologies for that, guys. Apologies for that. That's the biggest challenge of doing this by yourself is that you have to kind of be your own. I'm literally doing all of this on my own. I'm my own lighting person, my own camera, own sound person. Doing this all by myself, guys. I'm a one man show here. I don't have a co-host with me. Where were we at? Okay, supporting actress. Yeah, so Zoe Saldana, Amelia Perez. She beat out Monica Barbaro for Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, and Isabella Rossellini for Conclave. This was one where once again this was kind of a no surprise here. This one was kind of like we knew this was going to happen because Zoe Saldana was just like kind of taking over the award season. So going into the Oscars, it was pretty safe to assume that she was going to win this year, that this was going to be her year for the Oscar. But I am very very uh but I'm very happy to see that, and I liked her speech too. I thought her speech was very well. Like I actually got kind of choked up with her speech also. It was very emotional. You could tell that she felt really emotional. Um she spoke from the heart, which is what a lot of people who win an Oscar um try a lot of them do. Adrian Brody did that also. Adrian Brody did that. Sean Baker did that quite a bit. Sean Baker actually spoke from the heart a lot in almost every speech he gave throughout the night. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But in a lot of speeches he gave, he was really uh, speaking from the heart. But Zoe Saldana again spoke from the heart very very well. And I'll be honest, look, I again, I'm one of the only people out there that actually thought Amelia Perez was a okay little movie, was a decent movie. But I thought Zoe Saldana was really really great in that movie. I thought she was great. I thought she was really great in that movie. Um, so yeah, I thought she was very deserving of. I honestly thought she was very deserving of this award, and I'm happy to see that she won. So yeah. All right, best director, one of many Oscars for Sean Baker for Anora. He beat out Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, uh, Jacques Diard for Emilia Perez, and uh, Coralie Fargo, sorry, for The Substance. I'm so sorry, I'm butchering that name. Okay. Remember how I said how a lot of these speeches they were kind of speaking from the heart? Sean Baker, I think, gave the best speech of the night when he won Best Director because this man single-handedly was trying to save the movie theaters by saying that movies, like filmmakers, need to start making movies for the big screen. Stop we need to go back to making movies uh dis- for the big screen. And he got such a big standing ovation. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm sitting there listening to that, and I'm like giving him like I'm like just like yes, yes, thank you, and because it's so good to see somebody in the industry kind of rooting for film, for the movie going experience to stay alive, to stay to for the movie going experience to stay alive, and I really appreciate that. Um so yeah, but I definitely think he deserved this award. But we'll talk more about Sean Baker because he's, again, first of many throughout the night. We're not going to talk about best cinematography. Animated feature. Again, this one came as a shock. But again, I love the choice. Flow won best animated feature. It beat out Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. I'll be completely honest with you. I thought this was going to go to The Wild Robot. I did not think the Academy would because my mentality was the Flow is an independent animated film. The Oscars do not typically um award independent animated films. They usually um give the award to the big animation companies like a Pixar, Disney, DreamWorks, or Studio Ghibli. They don't give awards to the smaller independent animation studios. To see Flow, which is an independent animation, which was produced independently, to see it win Best Animated Feature, I was so happy to see, because Flow was my number 4 favorite film of the year. It was my favorite animated film of the year. And look, I loved The Wild Robot, and I loved Inside Out 2, and I loved Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul. But Flow for me was the best animated film out of all of them. And I actually liked Memoir of a Snail. I really liked Memoir of the Snail. But again, Flow was just it was a it was a much it was magnificent. It was visually beautiful. It told a wonderful story, and did all of it without any dialogue. It didn't, you know, most movies feel the need to just kind of cram so much dialogue and so much exposition thrown in your face. This movie didn't need to do that, and I love the fact that it didn't need to do that. Um, and I'm glad that to see that a movie like that could and absolutely deserved to win Best Animated Feature. So, yeah, but again, came as a complete shock because I literally would have, again, if you would have asked, if you would have said, Zeke, you're gonna put money on who's gonna win Best Animated Feature, I would have said I'm putting money on The Wild Robot because that's the safe bet. I would not have put money on Flow, but this this year the Oscars really did very much, they very much wanted to, this was really an Oscars that was really um celebrating independent cinema, because this might as well been more feeling, this felt more like an indie spirit awards, because a lot of the films that did win are definitely like independent films. Like you got The Brutalist, which is an independent film, Anora, which is completely independent. Um, Flow, which is independent. Um, you know, uh, you have oh, and when you get into like the live action short films, we'll get to that in a little bit. But even the live action short films are, independent, are independently financed. The international short films are independently financed. So it's like, you know, this really felt like a celebration of independent cinema in a weird in an interesting way. So was very happy to see that. Um I'm not really gonna talk about I did. I'll be honest. I went to go see they always release the animated shorts in movie theaters, so I did go see the animated shorts. I'll be honest. I wasn't impressed with any of the animated short um, films this year. Um, in the Shadow of the Cypress was beautiful to look at, but I'm not. It didn't impress me, so I didn't really walk away with like anything to like be like, "Oh my gosh, this was so amazing." So I'm not gonna really say much about it. Original screenplay, once again, Honora beat out films like The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. Once again, Sean Baker taking it home. Again, the second of many. That makes it three so far that Honora had won. As you can see, I believe I put it in the yeah, I did put it here. Wait, no, I didn't. I did not put it here. You know what? I won't say it then. I'll save it. I'll keep you in suspense. But yeah, that this is three so far for Honora. Honora was actually, I'll be honest, Honora was actually the biggest surprise of the night for me because I did not expect it to win as many Oscars as it did. I expected it to win a couple. Like definitely film editing. I expected it to win editing and I expected it to win screenplay, but not really anything else. I didn't expect it to win director, and I sure as hell didn't expect actress or uh picture. So picture, actress, director, screenplay. So that's four actually. That's four That's four Oscars. So yeah, I wasn't really expecting Honora to get this much love. Now, I'll say this, Honora did not get like Lord of the Rings Return of the King level love. Like it's not like it like completely swept the same way that like Lord of the Rings or Titanic swept that when they got nominated at the Oscars, but it was one of the big winners of the night. Uh, best adapted screenplay went to the Conclave or Conclave. Um, it beat out A Complete Unknown, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Um, I'll be honest, I don't think Conclave deserved to even be nominated for this award. I did not like the movie. I didn't like Conclave. I honestly thought um I honestly thought Sing Sing or Nickel Boys probably would have been a better option to have won this one. Because Conclave is a movie where nothing interesting happens until the ending. Nothing interesting happens until the church blows up. One the when the church blows up in that movie, that's the most interesting thing that happens in that movie. The entire movie, I remember sitting there and I'm telling you guys, I'm sitting in that movie and I'm not making this up. I'm sitting in that movie and I'm like sitting there. I'm like, oh my gosh, how long has this been going on? Like there's an episode of the Ted TV show. You guys ever? I don't know if you guys have ever saw the Ted TV show, where it's the Seth MacFarlane Ted so you have Ted and Johnny. They're sitting on the couch and they're trying to watch an adult film. And Blair, their Johnny's cousin, rents them an adult movie. But they end up watching the 400 Blows, which for those of you who know, is a French is a classic French film. And it's not the movie they intended on watching. I'll just say that. They were and they're sitting there and they're just like and it's like they're excited to watch it, and then it fades to a few minutes later, and they're just sitting there like looking bored, and eventually Johnny just yells out, "Oh my gosh, how long has this been going on?" You know, and that was my reaction watching Conclave. Like I'm sitting there, I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, how long has this been going on?" And then finally the church exploded, and I'm like, "Oh, thank you. Something interesting happened." Granted it's not a good thing that happens, but something interesting happens in this movie, you know. So yeah. Um but needless to say, I don't think Conclave deserved to win best adapted screenplay. Um let's see. Let's move on to film editing. And this is the fifth Oscar that Honora won for best film editing. Honora would beat out The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and Wicked. Um, Again, one that I kind of thought Honora would end up winning. I one that I kind of figured Honora would end up taking home. And again, kind of a no surprise one. Let me move on to a couple more here. I'm not even going to talk about original song just because I honestly didn't care. But I will say this: I am surprised that they didn't even do performances for any of the songs. Um, I'm not going to talk about documentaries. Visual effects. Um, this one, I'm honestly kind of shocked, but almost happy with. But actually happy with. Dune Part Two won for best visual effects. It beat out Alien Romulus, Better Man, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. I'll be honest, I thought Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was going to take this one home. I thought this was the year that Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes would have taken this one home, but Dune Part 2 did end up taking it home, and I'm perfectly happy with it because I love Dune Part 2. It was one of my favorite movies of last year, so I'm perfectly happy with that. Best live action short film. This one I do care about because I actually did see all the live action short films and I loved them. I Am Not a Robot won for best live action short. It beat out Alien, um, Anua, The Last Ranger, and The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. I'll be honest. I really liked. I'll be honest. The only two that I did not like are Anua and The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. The other three I really liked. So I am happy that I'm Not a Robot won, but the one that I thought should have won was The Last Ranger. The Last Ranger was one that I thought should have won because that one was the one that made me feel like emotionally moved me. Like honestly, like it actually almost brought me to tears. The Last Ranger did. So but I do like I Am Not a Robot. It very much had a substance kind of feel, just not as insane as the substance. But it definitely had a substance feel to it. Um, and that's yeah, that is pretty much it. That's all the winners and losers, and that was the Oscars, guys. That was it. We have another year, another Oscars. So yeah, that it will do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little something. Now, as you guys have been following my channel, we have been doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe movie marathons. And we've been doing pretty good. We've been doing one a day. Um However, um I was supposed to watch Guardians of the Galaxy tonight. However, I think I'm going to save Guardians of the Galaxy for tomorrow. Um because I got other stuff I have to work on. I got other things I got to work on, like homework and other other projects that I need to get done. So I won't have really time dedicated to watch Guardians of the Galaxy. So the MCU rewatch series will start back up tomorrow. And you guys will get a review for Guardians of the Galaxy probably either tomorrow morning or late tomorrow night. Probably most likely it'll be tomorrow night. It'll probably be tomorrow night. Um but yeah, keep your eyes open for that tomorrow. Look out for my review for Guardians of the Galaxy. But that will do it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like the video, please make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Oh, and also make sure you guys go and subscribe to the Zeke Said So podcast. It's available